Hello and welcome to another edition of Platypus, our narrowboat adventure. Now you saw in the last episode that the boat is finally in the water and watertight. So it's time for us to get ourselves sorted out and get on the waters and start making our way down south. Now we've got the inside sorted out with all our bits and bobs. I've finished making the seating area so we've got something to sit on. Not completely finished, but finished enough for us to get going. We've got Dave the dog. We've got Stanley, we've got the missus. We've got the kitchen ready, we've got the futon, and we've got the most important thing, a toilet. So we are ready to go now. Now our journey starts in a little place called Lim on the Bridgewater Canal where our boat's been for many years. We'll be heading down past there through Preston Brook Tunnel, which takes us on to the Trent and Mersey Canal, part of CRT Waters. Go through Middlewich, go through Stone, through the Harecastle Tunnel, and then we'll turn off at Fradley Junction onto the Coventry Canal. We'll go most of the length of that canal, and then we'll pass on to the Oxfordshire Canal, where we'll go past Rugby, through Banbury, and through Oxford. From there we'll go on to the Thames, which will take us down to the Kennet and Avon at near Reading. Now that's where we think we're going to end up. We don't know for sure. Plans may change, but that is our plan at the moment.
Okay, first trip just left.
Look at these bugs. Colourful, Mum. Here.
Scary stuff, isn't it? First journey, we've done about 200 metres. So far, we're floating, not crashing into anything. Yeah, long driving now. To the car for the first time after mooring up for the evening. Got about 5 miles to go, so a nice easy one today. But look at this lovely bike ride. Beautiful. Not sure it'll be this nice. It's raining. It's going to rain tomorrow. It's still lovely. Got a nice little place to moor up. Cooling the engine down, got a bit warm. Being air cooled, we need to work out a better way of cooling the engine now. It's hot after about an hour and a half.
Cruising that was. We've been looking forward to it for such a long time, gone through a bit of hell with the water coming on board, and to finally get in that water and do those 2 days cruising was just amazing. Be honest, when we were sleeping in the boat for the very first time, I was continuously worried about every little noise that I heard, thinking it was water coming back in the boat, but it was really, really good. Towards the end of the second day, we did develop a bit of a noise coming from the engine, a bit of a rattle. Wasn't quite sure what it was. Had to stop the boat, had a quick look, saw some bricks that moved, which I got down the ballast and moved them out of the way, started the engine back up, and the noise had gone. About half an hour later, the noise came back. Thought, oh, it must be just a brick or something, but 5 minutes it got really, really loud, so we decided to pull over just before Preston Brook Tunnel to have a little look. Cast my eyes over it, I couldn't really see anything wrong with it, so what we decided to do was have a bit of lunch, wait for it to the engine to cool down and see how it kind of was after that. So we've done that, started the engine up, the noise was there exactly the same, still very, very loud. So what I'd done, I put my head down, I thought I'd give it a few revs just to see how loud it got when I revved it up and see if I could locate exactly whereabouts on the engine the noise was coming from. As soon as I touched the revs just a tiny amount, there was an absolute catastrophic sound, and it sounded like the engine had exploded and the bottom end had completely failed. So by this time it was time for us to go home. We had commitments with work and the kids and things, so we had to go home. Now I came back a week later to try and get to the bottom of exactly what had gone on. Now, still convinced something down below in the bottom of the engine had failed. I took off an inspection panel which made it so you can see the bottom end of the bearings. Everything appeared to be fine, so I put a magnet inside, squished it around the oil to see if any metal was picked up or swarf. Nothing at all, but the engines would still not turn. So I popped this starter motor out just a small amount to see if I could get the engine to turn, and it turned absolutely fine. So I pulled the starter motor completely out, and I'd seen that the actual part of the starter motor had stuck, had been running on, and then actually that's what the rattling was, and it actually completely burnt out. Now, we were on the Bridgewater Canal, which isn't part of the CRT waters, and we actually have a licence for the CRT waters. Now, being a CRT licence holder, we can be on the Bridgewater Canal for up to a week free of charge, which would have been fine because we planned to have gone on through the tunnel, through Preston Brook, and onto the CRT waters. So straight away, phoned them up and let them know what's going on, asked them what I needed to do, and they said, it's not a problem, you can stay there for a week, we can understand you've got issues, get it moved by the following week. Obviously the following week was when I was there and I found out I needed a new starter motor. So I sent the starter motor off to be refurbished at a place called Thorn Marine, and sent it off to them and went back home again. Sent an email to the Bridgewater Canal to explain to them what was going on, didn't hear anything back at all. Sent another email, didn't hear anything back. About half a week later on, I get an email back from them saying, well, you need to move your boat. So I explained to them, well, I told you what's going on, I can't move the boat, so I'm happy to pay, what do I need to do? So they come back to me and say, look, we've checked your story, we can see that the starter motor is at Thorn Marine, we'll give you another week, but you must move it by the following Saturday, which to me was perfectly reasonable. About 10 minutes later, I got another email from them saying that they've issued a Section 9 to the boats. Now, I didn't know what Section 9 was, so I went back to them and said, excuse me, what is the Section 9? They said it's been strapped to your boat. Right, okay. So when I went back up to the boats, this was my Section 9 that had been strapped to it. Now it basically says that I must move the boat by a particular date, and I may never ever return to Bridgewater Canal no matter what, as I overstayed my welcome. Now, I fully told them what was going on. They checked my story about the starter motor. They could see I wasn't lying and it was all true, yet they still treated us in this way. So, very disappointed with the Bridgewater Canal. I'm not likely to go back up there again, but I do think that was absolutely shocking. Anyway, back to the issue with the starter motor. Right, so it was due to be ready to be picked up by the time I came back, and I got a call on the Friday, bearing in mind I was going up on the Saturday to get it fitted, to be told that it could not be fixed. The rod that goes right the way through the starter motor, it got so hot it had buckled and they could not fix it. Now at this point I needed to move the boat as per the Section 9, so I need to try and find a starter motor fast. Now I remember there's a chap that I spoke to called Jim who had some spares for old Lister engines and things, and he'd come along to see the boat just because he was interested before, and he gave me his number and his card. So I gave him a call and asked him if he had anything in his yard that might be able to help. With that, he said, yeah, of course I can, I'll meet you down there Saturday morning, which was an absolute relief. About half hour later he called me back, he said, I tell you what Dan, I'm going to be near your boat later on today. Do you mind if I go on your boat and see if I can match up a few starter motors to help you out? Of course I'm going to say yes to that. I could not believe how helpful he was. So he did that. He called me up that evening, Friday evening, and said to me, look, I found a starter motor that's going to fit. It's not ideal fit, but I'll meet you down there tomorrow morning and we see what we can sort out. So following morning, Saturday morning, I was down there. Jim met us up and we had a selection of starter motors to try. Now, although they all worked, none of them fitted, except the one that he had of his own, which he'd refurbished for his own boat, which he said very kindly, quite surprisingly, he said, put it on your boat. He said, keep it as long as you need it. I'll try and source another one if you want to buy another one off me, and you can use that as long as you need it. Now, coming from down south, that's not something we normally hear, stuff like that, so I was absolutely gobsmacked. And so he gave that to us, and we were able to push on, which you'll see in the next part of the video. About a month after this, he did give me a call back, and he said, look, I can't find another starter motor. I've refurbished that already. Keep that. Keep the spacer that you need, and just pay us back £20 a month until you paid it off. He only wanted £120 for it, which was an absolute bargain. So, Jim, if you ever watch this, thank you so much. You're an absolute lifesaver. And we cannot believe, me alone, we cannot believe how everyone has helped to pull together. Whenever we've had an issue, there have always been people there to help us.
And we're finally moving. Got a temporary starter motor on it that we borrowed to get us moving while we try and find one permanently, which is good news. So goodbye to the Bridgewater Canal. Suckers! Yeah, it's nice, Rick.
Can I sit down?
Not yet, darling, not till we get past this busy bit. Ever tunnel.
We need the light on.
Of course we need a light on, sweetheart, otherwise it'll be dark. Tunnel. We are in a tunnel. Well done, sweetheart. Whatever you do, do not crash. Tunnel, proper nerve-wracking for Lauren. She was quite scared. Now we've finished that, we got our first mini lock. Watch the tunnel. How was the first tunnel, honey? You didn't enjoy it? Shit doesn't try and jump off, or him tries to distract me in any way, shape or form. Canal boating with animals and children is highly not recommended. and cow stuff.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Platypus on Our Boat Adventure. I'm really humbled by all the comments and all the subscribers I've got so far, so thank you so much. I've just hit the 500 mark. Never thought I'd do that in a million years. It started off with just something for myself, because I had so much footage, and it's turned into something really nice. So please keep subscribing, please keep watching, and if you've got any comments of what you want me to put in there, anything you want me to add, any questions, please go in there. I read every single one, and I do try my best to reply back to them as well. So thank you so much.